Welcome, NoDQ Galaxy, back to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review, number 147. And we are going to party like it's 1999. Celebrate good times. Come on. AEW Dynamite did over 1 million viewers, and their demo beat Raw's demo. Party at Meltzer's house. What's up, everyone? This is the elite panel of NoDQ, and this week it consists of myself, Aaron Rift, as always, Big G. Colin is back. He's becoming a regular here on the show. And welcome back once again, San. I will start with you. Are you excited? Dynamite is moving on up to the 1 millions. What's up?
Well, as far as my traditional introduction, hey everybody, Son Goshuaku here. It's been a while. I'm glad to be here to talk about wrestling with all these great gentlemen. And yeah, it's exciting time. We're getting crowds back, so I'm ready to see what AEW and WWE end up doing with the live audience.
Good to have you here, and we got 5 panel members here, 4 big topics, plus whatever the NoDQ Galaxy asks in the super chats. All right, Colin, the Cleaver, Andrew, what's up?
Not much, man. Just enjoying another rainy day here in Seattle. Northeast Ohio. I thought AEW was really good last night, and the crowd, man, it's like, one of those nostalgic things that grandma used to make that you haven't had in a long time. That's exactly how I feel watching wrestling with the crowd again.
It's like drinking a Yoo-hoo. You feel like a kid again.
That's a good point. Yeah. Hey, look, right? I'm all for ratings going up. Doesn't matter the company. So if it takes one company to start rising to make the other one try to do better, I'm all for that. Big G, what's up? I know you are happy to be here. And because we're going to have an after party at Dave Meltzer's, you are even more happy to be here tonight. What's up?
No, I'm doing pretty good. Went to my first wrestling show since 2019, Ring of Honor, Best in the World, which is pretty good. Decent crowd, maybe 2,000 people, 2,500 people. They had a section blocked off still. Only one Canadian destroyer throughout the whole entire show. That tells you something right there, folks.
Oh, wait, are you talking about Dynamite last night?
No.
Oh.
But I will be going to AEW Dynamite in August in Pittsburgh, so I'll probably be meeting up with Greg Cherry there. So.
Big G, I have to make an AEW event when it's closer to Cleveland. You think if I went decked out in Roman Reigns gear, would I get kicked out? Especially if it was TV. You know how WWE did stuff like that, take signs away? I don't know. I would think that would be a hell of a time. I might consider doing that. So anyway, good to have you here. And of course, Aaron Rift, what's up?
I'm excited. It's been a fun week so far. We had AEW Dynamite, hot crowd in Texas, and their ticket sales are doing well. They sold out on Wednesday, and their New York show that's coming up, they outsold Madison Square Garden up to this point, which is pretty crazy. I mean, granted, WWE's tickets are way more expensive, but hey, AEW is on track to have a really good house in New York, and maybe that will still damage Vince's ego. I don't know if it will. Maybe Vince will just care about the dollar signs, but symbolically, like that's a pretty big deal. And if it leads to Vince lighting a fire from his ass and doing something with the product and changing things around, then I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to WWE going back on the road with the live fans again. That's going to be fun. But how long will this honeymoon period last? There's already talk about the SummerSlam opponent for Bobby Lashley, and people are already getting frustrated. And then,
stay tuned for the main event this evening.
Yes. And also the Money in the Bank participants, all of them are revealed now for the women's match. People are disappointed with that too. Not sure if we're going to talk about that at all. Maybe we'll wait till the predictions video. We do have a few super chats already, so thank you guys. First one here is from our own TJS, who I believe will be on the predictions video Saturday. He says, I would like to say thank you on behalf of the group and ourselves, and I hope we passed the audition. I'm ready for the weekend. New set, I hope. Well, it does appear that we will have new sets for Raw and SmackDown. Stephanie McMahon all but confirmed that. Now, does anybody get that reference in this room right now? TJS making a reference to a very famous band.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I got to read it again.
Hold on. Let me guess. The Beatles?
Well, I mean, you probably just took a lucky guess there.
Yeah, because I did. That's all TJS ever talks about is the Beatles.
The Beatles.
All right, and Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says AEW is moving up to the east side.
There you
Thank
go.
you for that.
Now, you know,
Yeah, that's it.
the point where Madison Square Garden wants them in there as the attraction, and they're selling that out and booting WWE to the curb, and WWE has to do shows over in Brooklyn, then I'll be impressed with AEW. So, might as well get this other super chat in, Aaron, before we can start.
Okay, will do. We have wow, what is this currency?
I'll look
A
it up.
$7.29 super chat AED. I haven't seen that one before.
AEW.
Says,
Nice.
did you hear about Goldberg returning to Raw? Well, I did post it on NoDQ.com, and it's pretty much all over Twitter. So, yes, we have heard about it.
Interesting fact for the
United-
chat out there. I literally just found this like 5 minutes before we went on air.
Well, we'll tie that into the main event this evening because we'll be talking about Bobby Lashley and his WWE title run. So, are you guys ready to get started here?
Yeah.
And by the way,
We got
real
some
quick,
controversial topics, too, by the way. Yes, Aaron.
well, we do have another super chat. I was going to say something to Big G here. Shanti is here. He sent in a $2 super chat. Virtue, you might appreciate this one. He says, Jinder Mahal says, this video needs Shanti. What do you think about that, pal?
We just need Jinder Mahal in the mid card, and maybe as the U.S. champion or whatever, Intercontinental champion, whatever title's over there, and that's where he needs to be. In that, don't put him back in the main event because it'll butt hurt too many people because of him being a jobber most of his career. So there you go.
And Johnny Boy sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, I'm excited for this weekend. I really hope WWE doesn't have piped in cheers when the fans return. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's very possible that they will start piping in cheers, especially if the fans don't react the way they want them to react. But we'll see. Again, this weekend is the honeymoon period. Everybody's excited. Everyone's looking forward to what's going to happen. But how will people feel in a couple of weeks? And Psycho Jet Black.
This is like This is like AEW, not AEW Dark. Sorry, No DQ Review After Dark or whatever you call it. But before. This is uncanny. This is happening before we can even get any topics off.
We're not even going to get to the topics here at this point, Virtue. But let me get this last one in from Psycho Jet Black. He sent in $5. Thank you for that. He says, screw it. If Ricochet wins Money in the Bank, I will give $50, which is $49 more than I would pay for a Ricochet promo. All right. Well, please, Ricochet, win that match.
Okay, we're going to start our topics here. Now, last week we main evented the whole Jimmy Uso thing. This week we're going to kick off the show. Jimmy Uso still on TV, getting the big storyline push with Reigns and Jay. The whole hugging type thing where you saw Roman's face just like locked and loaded, like my family's together. We don't know what will happen from here. This is based on what we saw last SmackDown. But to tie all this together, right, Jimmy's still on TV. Some fans completely, upset about what he did, and I get it, the DUI. Naomi, they're getting threatened on Twitter that it's her fault. What's going oh my God, what's everybody's thoughts on WWE continuing the storyline? Because we weren't quite sure last week what they would do. And then any rumors we've heard, and of course the Naomi stuff. Big G, you are going to kick it off again. Go.
So yeah, we were all in surprise that Jimmy returned on SmackDown. We figured, they'd gave him a couple weeks off, do what he needs to do to get better, but he's in a major storyline right now, and I guess Roman went to bat for him, and they kind of swept it under the rug, and which is kind of messed up, but then you blame Naomi for his stupidity. Naomi has nothing to do with it. If she was in the car, she should have drove, but if she wasn't with him, do not blame. See, that's what I hate about Twitter. They play the blame game on everybody. It was Jimmy's fault.
Let me cut you off real quick, Big G. that incident happened on Monday night, and Naomi was on Raw, so she was not there for that.
Yeah, so she wasn't there. So there you go. That proves my point. But still, and we talked about it last week, there's different ways to get around, Uber or whatever, cabs, or just, call a friend to pick you up, or have Naomi pick you up after, Raw's over or whatever. But hopefully we'll see something happen down the line to Jimmy, or like I said, they'll just sweep it under the rug. And
I mean, right,
like
he's right in the middle of the storyline, and they have not shown any sign.
And like I said, Roman probably went to bat to him and said, "You know what? I'm going to talk to Jimmy, get his butt under control, and go from there." So,
and for all we know, they could tell him behind the scenes, "Hey, you got one last strike before we're gonna this is what's gonna happen." Maybe they put that ultimatum on it, and we'll never know. And that's stuff we shouldn't know.
No.
You know what I mean? That's behind closed doors, private stuff. So, all right, Colin, Andrew, we know how passionate you were about this whole thing last week. What's your take on this? And of course, he's still on TV and the Naomi stuff.
I was just appalled when I saw him. Like, the first thing you saw on SmackDown is his happy-go-lucky ass just, "Oh, I'm happy to be here." And it was disgusting, dude. Like, right now, WWE needs to make another video package pretty much saying that they support drunk driving. I don't fucking care what storyline you're in. Like, this is, I know, like I said in a video I did Saturday, state of Ohio, 3 DUIs, that's jail time. You know what I mean? So, and this is number 4.
Now, Colin, I'm going to cut you off, and then I'm coming right back to you.
Yeah.
Before this internet stuff, before like dirt sheets, we had all these websites, and we knew every personal aspect of wrestlers.
Yeah.
The drugs were rampant and the booze back in the day. How many DUIs do you think there were back in the day that we just never knew about?
Oh,
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Several, but
and they never lost their spots either.
But here's the deal: it's a completely different time. Everything is all over the place. Technology is at our fingertips. Things are out there to get around easier. And again, we are a different voiced generation of people that don't believe in stupid stuff like that. And people, basically, I feel like he's getting rewarded. You know what I mean? Because he's still in this major storyline. How many times was he in segments this past Friday after the fact? I mean, yeah, you said it best. He could have behind the scenes stuff said to him, and warnings and final warnings or whatever. But when it comes to Naomi, y'all got to realize, just because you're married doesn't mean you're together 24/7. Just because you're dating doesn't mean you're together 24/7. You have your life, he has his, or she has his, or whatever you want to do. But your partner and you are not together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It has just not happened. And for them to blame her for that, especially it being a Monday and them being in 2 different locations. And honestly, if he was that drunk and was driving, he probably didn't say shit to her anyways. So people coming after her, just like, wow. Like, are you kidding me? Go find something else to do. Go clean your parents' basement you live in or something. But it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And hopefully, come the end of this storyline, maybe something happens to Jay and he's rode off, and we all know he's going to have to go do that weekend at a hotel, stuff like that. That's a Friday night. He ain't going to be there. So something's going to have to happen. But yeah, I'm just disgusted with it. And again, feels like WWE supports drunk driving.
Okay, now, son, before I come to you, thanks for patiently waiting. I'm going to go to Aaron because I saw some more super chats come over. So, Aaron, you want to do those, and then your thoughts on the topic.
Okay, yeah, we got quite a few, so let me get to these. First of all, Mr. Tito, way back, sent in $2. He says, old school WCW fans rejoice. Goldberg, Goldberg. We should all do it together. 1, 2, 3, go.
Why? Goldberg.
It's fun back in the day.
Nope.
I tried, folks. I tried.
I don't want to.
Us all in harmony doing the Goldberg chant.
Well, Tito, thank you for plugging some news that will affect our main event this evening.
Okay, let's get to the other super chats. Ernie Eastman sent in $5. He says, what is it to be said when all wrestlers are leaving WWE? Says a lot of the company. Well, not all wrestlers are leaving. Keep in mind, WWE cut a bunch of those people. Only a few, like FTR, actually asked to leave the company, and then they were eventually granted their releases. Same thing with
Andrade. It's a dictatorship up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people are happy working for a company where they're on national television and they're collecting a big paycheck. Yeah, the grass might be greener on the other side, but I think that there are still a lot of people that are very happy working for WWE. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, is Jimmy Uso this generation's Jeff Hardy?
Jeff Hardy's still in it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's overlap, really.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy's still there, and hopefully Jeff stays out of trouble, but we've said that before, and he's gotten in trouble again after that. I mean, just to recap a little bit of last week, I hope whatever happened behind the scenes will prevent this from happening again. I'm really hopeful that Jimmy agreed to go to rehab, and that's why they're continuing the storyline. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I would hope that this is being taken care of and it's not going to happen again. Now, it's wrestling. We've seen plenty of other guys continue to get in trouble, and you know, you want to see them overcome their demons. Will they? Will Jimmy? We don't know. Hopefully nobody else gets hurt if he makes another stupid decision. And James sent in a $5 super chat, says, if Jimmy ends up killing someone in a drunken accident in the future, it will be on WWE that they didn't do more and take affirmative action. Shaking my head. Well, I feel like WWE is already trying. Well, they were trying to not take responsibility by saying flat out, not Jeff Hardy, although they would probably say it about him too, that Jimmy Uso is responsible for his own actions. So they're saying, you know what, it's his life. What he does is separate from the company. But when you know somebody on your roster is causing problems, at some point you gotta take action, because if Jimmy did hurt somebody, that would be terrible publicity for WWE, knowing that they could have done something but didn't. And Walter Cruz with a $5 super chat says, this is the opportunity to have Naomi win Money in the Bank, cash in on Bianca, and boom, she can join the bloodline. Although I really don't want Bianca to lose. Makes sense. I'm with you on that, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the predictions. But I would love that scenario. That would be a great way to get Naomi on to SmackDown with the bloodline. And as far as the stuff with Naomi goes, yeah, it's just terrible that people would make those comments to her. And I don't blame her for getting off of Twitter. I mean, it sucks that it comes down to that, but Twitter can often be a toxic place. And, you know, she might be back at some point. A lot of people leave Twitter, take a break, and then they come back. And Alberto Gomez sent in a $5 super chat, and then I think we can finally get over to Son, who's just brewing with his thoughts over there. Says, and Raw gets worse with Goldberg. Hashtag Roman the tribal chief all day. Acknowledge him. Thank you for that, Alberto. But hey, I'm sure Goldberg will get the big crowd pop, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes here, I'm sure. But yeah, let's get over to Son with his thoughts on everything that's going on with Jimmy Uso right now.
All right, so first of all, in terms of Naomi, this is ridiculous that people are coming down on her for her husband's mistakes. If anyone's probably on his case, it's probably her. These people, they're not even behind the you're not behind their door, so you don't know. And you know the woman is going through enough as it is. And there's even video footage of her once getting Jimmy Uso out of some trouble with the cops. I remember when that dropped. In terms of Jimmy Uso, hope he desperately gets the help that he needs for his sake and for someone else's sake, because if someone ends up getting killed by this stupid decision, then it's gonna be terrible. And from a business standpoint, you gotta wonder, how many times have we seen over the years where the WWE will go ahead and let someone, they'll not push someone because they're too injury prone. They can't put the trust that this person's not gonna get injured. I see that they're going on with this storyline with the bloodline, but what happens, even if they're going to keep it going to WrestleMania, what happens from now to WrestleMania if Jimmy Uso gets another DUI or worse, injures himself or kills someone and basically is getting charged for manslaughter, and now they have to abruptly take him out of the storyline? How horrible would it be if right before a big pay-per-view, titles are going to put the titles on Usos, he can't make the show because he got caught with DUI and it ended in tragedy? So if you think about this, how much trust can WWE put in that the man behind Jimmy Uso, because we know he's talented on the mic, we know he's talented in the ring, but can he control himself to not do this? So hopefully, I don't know if they've made a deal or something like, okay, we'll keep you in the storyline, but you've got to get help. I don't want to see this go the route of Umaga, where they tried to get him help and he ended up not taking the help, and then that ended in tragedy. So I hope for everybody involved, for his loved ones, for himself, and for anyone he could potentially hurt, I hope that they get this all straightened out. But right now, I think WWE, they're taking quite a bit of gamble on this. It's a big gamble to hopefully trust that he's not going to do this. It's been, 10 years of 3 to 4 DUIs. So even from a business standpoint, I question it. And believe me, as a fan, it's hard. I've been coming on here in my channel. I know in the times I've been on here for NoDQ, I wanted this, the Usos and Roman Reigns to finally be united with the bloodline. And shout out to the person who made the comment about Naomi winning the Money Bank and joining them. This is awesome, but I think to summarize all this up, it would be better to take a short-term hit right now. Yeah, I know we're tired of the Jey Uso and Roman Reigns stuff, but take this short-term hit, get Uso the help, Jimmy the Uso, I'm getting them all mixed up, right? The Jimmy the help he needs, and then long-term we can have better storylines than to do this right now and hope and tragedy comes about. So hopefully help is done so that it's better for everyone involved, and that's my take on it.
Well said.
I just wanted to comment on Rob Fury. I think he makes a very good
Rob,
point.
What's up?
And if you listen to The Godfather on Steve Austin's podcast, he brought up how he just smokes marijuana now and he's cut back on his drinking and he's feeling great. He's about to turn 60 and
You don't look 60.
it's a lot better than popping pills and drinking alcohol all the time. So there you go. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, why doesn't WWE suspend people for drunk driving? Because they're responsible for their own actions. That's the company line.
That's their reason.
Yep. Well, great conversation, and everybody had great points. And we are going to move on. And I think we might get some chiming in by Tito on this one, because we're going to talk a little bit about should going back to NXT from the main roster be considered a demotion. Now, we know NXT was always been really the developmental. Finn Balor went down there, and he's still down there. Charlotte had her match with Rhea Ripley there last year. Mandy Rose now showed up, and this could be a permanent thing. It might not. And, we've seen people go to NXT that were on the main roster. Now, who's the tag team there that recently got cut? Fandango and Breeze?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess what I'm saying is there a reason that these people are going back down to NXT, like Mandy Rose? Are they not ready? Or are they trying to use main roster visuals into NXT to hopefully draw some ratings? What does everybody think here? And it's just kind of a thing now. It seems like it's supposed to be, I think, per Triple H, its third brand. Big G, we've talked about this before, but this is now becoming a thing that we see. Main roster superstars going back to NXT. Mandy Rose, the most recent. Indulge us.
Well, like you mentioned, Finn Balor went back down there, and he was there for a good year and a half or so, and he's still down there. I think he's taking time off, but I don't think it's a demotion. I think if they have a choice to go back down to NXT, they can go back down to NXT. And I think that other tag team that just broke up, that Aaliyah chick, I think she's going to the main roster. So I don't know if they did some kind of trade, storyline wise or whatever. But it's like if you're not ready,
think about that. They're trading with NXT, so that's WWE trying to make NXT feel like a third brand, not a developmental. I mean, at least they're trying to portray that. That's what happened.
But here's my point: if you're not ready to go to the main roster, why would they send you up to the main roster if you're not, WWE ready? Then you should be in NXT for as long as possible. But then again, you have Ciampa and Gargano that have been down there since like 2015, and they don't want to go to the main roster. I'm sure there's certain superstars that do want to go to the main roster, and certain superstars that don't want to go to the main roster. And I don't know if they really have a say in it, but I mean, I'm sure Ciampa and Gargano would have been on the main roster like a year or two ago. Well, whenever Ciampa got hurt, and I think Gargano, Ciampa, and then I think Alistair and Ricochet all came at the same time, and only Ricochet and Alistair went up, and Gargano and Ciampa went back down.
I remember. Now Joe's there too.
And Joe's back in NXT. I think Triple H signed him back as fast as he could. I feel like NXT, you have a little bit more freedom to do what you want with your character, how to develop your character. And then when you go to the main roster, you get your names cut. Really, Tegan Knox and Shotzi, I know it's just a name, but people associate, faces with names, and they'll remember Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart, not Knox and Shotzi. That's so stupid. But I digress,
So do you consider them developmental still, or now a third viable brand to Raw and SmackDown?
It's kind of like 50-50. Yeah, they're still learning down there, but they've got titles, they've got major storylines. People talk about it a lot. So for me, it's 50-50. It's not really a third brand, but it's still kind of that, because they have to learn the WWE way, because WWE has their way of doing things from the indies. So
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're going to jump over to Aaron now. I think he's got a super chat, and then he can give his thoughts on the moving over to NXT once you've been on the main roster.
Okay. Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat. He says, if Mandy's pay did not get cut, then it's not a demotion. That's what I was actually going to say. So thank you for that. Too. I feel like if you're getting paid the same amount of money and you're working less in NXT, you're not traveling all over the country every week, then hell, that's like a promotion, right?
So they break up another tag team that was on Raw.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too.
And that was in a feud with Tamina and Natalya for the past 3 weeks.
Well,
month.
That's another way to look at it. So if Mandy Rose had been off TV for like 2 months, and then she shows up in NXT and she's getting TV time, then yeah, you could say this is good for her. She's getting some TV time. But she was on Raw every week, and she was in the middle of a storyline for the tag team titles. So she goes from that to possibly just being a manager in NXT now. So when you look at it from that perspective, it kind of feels like a demotion.
And Aaron, Tito brings up a good point. So when Mandy is on the main roster, her downside guarantees probably more than NXT downside guarantees. And yes, we were in the pandemic, but like say we got crowds back, you're going to have bigger crowds and more frequent shows with people there on the main roster where you get maybe some of the house gate versus being in NXT. So he points out Mandy being back in NXT, those house gates will be a lot smaller for her and less frequent. And so that is a demotion because technically she'd be getting less money. That's a good point. I just had to mention that.
I think ultimately the goal should be to be working for the biggest stage possible and performing in front of the largest crowds and making the most money. I mean, it is a business after all. And if you're not, what was the saying? I think Gorilla Monsoon said it. If you're not in the business to make money, then you're a mark. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. And I hope things work out for Mandy. The only thing that I really didn't like is that they just dropped that storyline for several weeks. Not that I was a fan of that storyline or anything, but it's like I'm sitting here watching it every week, and now there's like no payoff to it. They're just sending Mandy over to NXT. I mean, I suppose she could show up on Raw and they could finish that and do a match, but it's like, why not just finish the storyline first and then send her over to NXT? And Dwayne Atkinson, his comment here, Aaliyah's been in developmental for several years now. So you either call her up at this point or you let her go, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, she's been there in NXT for quite a while, and I think it was time to get her on the main roster. And there was one other super chat before I forget about it. Alberto Gomez sent in a $5 super chat about Roman Reigns, thinking that maybe Roman Reigns got pissed off and Jimmy could have given a bad reputation to Roman's character and image, especially when he's on his best run. Yeah, we did talk about this last week, and it's quite possible that Roman had to have a serious talk with Jimmy. And again, we don't know. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
But yeah, I could imagine that Roman was not happy about it. So anyways, we do have one more. DJW sent in a very generous $10 super chat. Thank you, DJ. He says, do you want to wait till you guys finish and then we'll go back to DJ? Son, you want to go ahead and give your thoughts?
Current topic or DJ's comment?
We'll go back
Current
to DJ's
NXT,
comment.
Mandy's demotion.
Okay. Yeah, I got something to say about DJ's comment as well, but I'll get to it later. So, I think Big G made a great point when he says it's kind of like 50-50 because there is more creative freedom, and this is definitely a chance in NXT where the wrestlers can learn how to develop a character, their promo skills, their in-ring ability, so that when they get to the main roster, they're set for the big time. But then the other 50% of that feels like, well, as we've seen the track record when it comes to NXT, so often it feels like, okay, it sometimes feel like their character wise are getting the demotion there, but it's like there's been so many wrestlers that have failed to live up to their expectations because of the booking, basically. So I could see why it's like 50-50. To me, it feels like, I guess, a third brand / developmental, basically. But they don't capitalize on what they've developed with those talents down there. As far as Mandy Rose go, yeah, if she's not getting a pay deduction, then fine, let's see what she can do down there, more creative. I think they really dropped the ball. Last year, she had one of the best storylines going with Otis, and then they didn't even capitalize off of that. They just abruptly ended that storyline, and I just really thought, man, this woman should be treated very well. Think about what she went through last year. Her and Sonya could have possibly gotten killed in that terrible situation with the stalker. And the fact that she came in to SummerSlam, I said on my review, they had every right, no obligation to compete, but they still did. That to me just shows how dedicated and passionate she was to her job, despite being not in no way being in the right state of mind. So I hope they definitely treat Mandy well. Man, she just could have been maybe if they build her up, she could have been like a top baby face, maybe, that could be challenging Rhea and everything. Not saying put the title on her right now, but yeah. And I wish that what they're doing with Chad Gable with Otis now is what I was hoping they would develop her and Mandy Rhodes in Otis into. But with that said in mind, obviously we see what Vince McMahon and the creative have done with Mandy, so hopefully Triple H will do better by her in NXT, and maybe she comes back up even better.
All right, and we're gonna go right over to Colin. And I was just thinking this, Colin. Is there no room for Mandy over there now with Eva Marie? Because, blonde, the looks. I mean, Mandy wrestled, right? And I know some people are like, oh, I don't know if she's improved any. You know how fans are. They're experts at ring work and all that. But, I mean, is that maybe one of the reasons why she's in NXT now?
I want to say no. I really do. Just because, she's been working this storyline with Dana Brooke and going after the women's tag titles and stuff. So I don't think that's the reason. And personally, I see NXT as a third brand. Sometimes when I watch NXT, I feel like I'm watching a whole other company. But nobody batted an eye. I'm going to steal this from Aaron's responsibility, but Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat and said Ember Moon went back to NXT and no one mentioned it as a demotion at all. So that's a valid point right there. And we saw Kevin Owens show up at War Games and join Team Ciampa. No one batted an eye there about him going back to NXT for a night. Hey, as a night, he went back for a night. You know what I'm saying? He went back there. But I don't see it that way. I really don't. Finn Balor, he didn't really have the best run on the main roster, but he has talent. You know what I mean? It's just it's one of those things where, look, you have the talent. It's just you don't super fit in right here. But here, you were killer. I don't see it. And I want to see more of it. I want to see more, trading in and out.
Put Shayna back down.
Mr. Tito, because he's our, big main columnist over here on NoDQ, he wants us to know that he looked at all of those as demotions. So,
well, I mean, to each their own. That's why we have opinions. That's why we do this show. And I don't look at it that way, because half the time when people come there, it's the most talked about thing for the longest time is, oh, this person signed NXT, or this. We're still talking about Joe going back to NXT, and it's been how long? You know what I mean? A few weeks. So, I mean, at this point, they're all equal, and NXT's been way better than Raw for I don't know how long. So that says something.
Gotcha. More valid points there. Aaron, any other things you'd like to add? Super chats, and we will move on.
All right, yeah, we do have that off topic, so we'll get to that here in just a second. We do have the $2 super chat, which Walter said we already covered that, so thank you for that. All right, so DJW sent in a $10 super chat. He says, sorry to go off topic, but can you guys rate Jade Cargill's progression so far since she debuted? I'm not feeling this M. Sterling pairing. I feel like Mark Henry is a better fit, similar to MVP and Lashley. All right, well, that's an interesting idea. I agree with you about Sterling. I don't really see anything in that guy. And as far as Jade goes, I haven't really seen a lot of her in the ring. So I'm not sure how much she's wrestling on AEW Dark. I can't really say. She was fine in that match with Shaq. That was totally fine. And her promos are all right. She's new. But I think she's doing okay so far for being a rookie. Anybody else have any thoughts on it?
She's got the look, and I don't know if Tony Khan knows what to do with that. But I understand you got to be able to cut promos, do well in front of crowds, be good in the ring, or at least serviceable. But she's got the look. I mean, that's a check mark right there.
Now, Big G, have you been watching Dark? Do you know if she's been wrestling? Okay, well, does anybody here watch Dark?
We need Noah Foster or something on for that.
I'm
yeah.
sure.
I only watch it when I know Matthew Justice is going to be on, just because he's a local guy.
I'll be going to my first AEW Dark when I go to Dynamite in August. So
I think Ricky Shane Page was on not too long ago too. Colin, I don't know if you know who that is. He's from around here.
I didn't hear what you said.
Ricky Shane Page. I think he was on there. Not.
Yeah, and that who was that guy that went against last time AEW? Yuta? Is that it?
Oh yeah.
He's been for here too.
Yeah.
Okay. And here I'm going to make myself real quick. I'm going to make myself sound very uncool here, but the only low key I've heard of is the wrestler. I don't even know who that comic book guy is. I barely know. Who
I knew you were going to say that.
Is Thor the guy with the hammer?
Yes.
Okay, I only saw the first
Loki's his
Avengers
brother,
movie.
who was a villain at the early Avengers movies. Yes.
I only saw one Avengers movie. I haven't seen anything since. I barely watch comic book movies, so
yeah.
I'm like 2 episodes behind.
Put it this way, Loki.
And I'm the only person in the world that does not have Disney Plus, nor do I have any interest in getting Disney.
The Loki series is like it's in a Disney Marvel way, Aaron. It's like this could be, depending on how many episodes and seasons they do, because they're short seasons. It's like 6 episodes. Right. It's like could be the Breaking Bad of comic book series. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Okay,
Good way to put it.
I don't think that's
in a comic book Disney way. But anyway,
good analogy.
Are we ready to move? Are we ready to move
on?
We
do have a few more. If I want to watch superheroes that never lose, I'll watch a John Cena match. Okay.
I was going to mention about Jade Cargill. Yeah, she's got the looks, she's got the attitude, and just everything that you want in a superstar. And that's more of what AEW definitely needs, is just people that you're gonna tune on AEW and like, oh snap, I need to see this guy or this girl. And she has to improve in ring compared to the other women, but I could definitely see if she continues building up her and Britt Baker somewhere down the line, which they've already started teasing on Twitter. Definitely could be something. And as far as Mark Sterling Sterling. I agree. It's a weird pairing. And putting Mark Henry with her might be interesting because I think Mark Henry was the one who discovered her. So you already know they're gonna have that emotional investment. And he would be basically like a real life mentor to her, and that would come across on screen and have really good chemistry. But yeah, I think Jade Cargill is definitely a good star, a great star in the making. As long as she gets the in-ring aspect down fully, which I thought she did pretty good in the matches I've seen so far. Yeah, she's a star in the making. Just keep on improving.
Thank you for that, son. I agree with you on that. And Rob Fury sent in a $3 super chat, and I think he screwed up the super chat. So let me read the comment here. When enough time in grooming, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke could be the next Beth Phoenix, in my opinion.
Ooh, that's high praise.
Well,
I suppose
they dropped the ball with Dana Brooke so many times. They like give her this nice little push, and then she doesn't do anything for a while, and then she's back with another partner and doesn't do anything for a while. It's like, why didn't you send Dana Brooke down with Mandy?
I don't know. It's going to be rough for Dana Brooke now if she's by herself.
Yeah, you know what? They're going to put Aaliyah with Dana Brooke. There you go.
They might do that.
They just
swap the
storyline. There you go.
Yeah, that's very, very.
Well, I definitely say Beth Phoenix can now certainly work more with Mandy Rose since they're both in NXT.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe Beth Phoenix could be like a mentor or something.
Another super chat, Aaron. I just see. I think.
Yeah, we have a couple more here. Alberto Gomez, $5. Thank you very much, Alberto. I appreciate it. Says WWE could have come up with an idea, trade someone that you don't really know, have any plans for a call up. That's why Mandy went to NXT and Aaliyah went to Raw. MR is Raw, right? I'm not
main
sure.
roster.
Main roster. Okay, thank you for that, Big G. I'm talking about sometimes here. That.
Oh, I thought it was Matt Riddle. Sorry.
Yeah, I was almost wondering, like, who is MR? I kept trying to think it was a person. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat, and then I think we can move on here. I have no idea what any of this is.
Galactus
for the next MCU villain. I guess that's Marvel.
Yeah, one of them. Who cares? Both of them.
I could not pick those characters out of a photo lineup.
I'm somewhat familiar with Galactus.
Same dude. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna move on.
I know Iron Man and the guy with the hammer. That's about it.
Wow.
The guy with the hammer.
There was someone in the chat named Roman.
Coming next from Marvel, the guy with the hammer.
Someone was in the chat. The handle was Roman's Girl. It could be a troll job. I want to know the Penguin's name. We'll say it's Roman. And then she also said, I like popsicles. So, yeah, I mean, a nice cold popsicle on a hot summer day. So we're going to move on. We don't have to spend much time on this topic. So, Big G, Riddle, okay? We know what news came out regarding Riddle recently. Del Rio is all over social media. And boy, there is this, right? He's the nastiest man on the planet. Still has to go through a trial and see exactly what, he did. And Mike Tyson's on AEW, and we know he's a rapist. And then Enzo. Okay, we know what happened with Enzo. I'm just naming those three. In wrestling, there are others. But here's the deal. Does WWE pick and choose when it comes to controversial wrestlers? Matt Riddle's still there working. Obviously, Del Rio didn't work out for other reasons beyond his personal reasons. But we know what happened.
Same with Enzo too.
Well, yeah, because of he was, but he drew money. I can't say Del Rio drew money. Enzo drew money. They were making him the face of the cruiserweight division that was going to get house shows. Big G, you don't have to spend long on this. Right. What's your take on WWE picking and choosing controversial figures? We don't need to talk about if they're guilty or innocent. No, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but go.
Right. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, like say Matt Riddle, for instance. I'm sure he went straight up to like whoever in the back and said, look, I had this incident back in the day. I'm going to come straight forward with you guys. This is what happened. And, hopefully we can see past it. And if something comes up, we'll, work out the kinks, the situation. And I feel with Del Rio and Enzo, they didn't say anything to anybody whatsoever. So I and like you said, Enzo did draw, he was a big name. Del Rio, and Del Rio's Del Rio. I didn't really like Del Rio when he wrestled, but that's my take. Like if you go up and tell them what happened, WWE will kind of like say, okay, well, you told us, we'll work with you, we'll see what happens, and go from there.
Yeah, and we know, Matt Riddle is off
And
the
Matt
hook.
Riddle's in a major story or in a semi-big storyline right now with Randy Orton.
Okay, there you go. Good opinion there. Colin.
I mean, it's clear Jimmy Uso's still on TV. Yes, they pick and choose. I mean,
was waiting for you. I'm glad you said that.
I know it's different, but look, Rich Swann, you remember him? He got let go because of a domestic dispute, and then this thing with his wife, and then then we had the Enzo deal, and then Riddle's still around, but Enzo
and didn't Jack Gallagher get released as well?
Exactly. Thank you.
And Steve Austin, Psycho Jet Black, sent in a $2 super chat about Austin, his history of domestic violence.
So yes, they definitely pick and choose because Riddle has been acquitted. She dropped the charges. Enzo came back, not guilty. It was a made up story.
And he's stirring up the indie scene. I like that.
Yeah, he is. He was just here last weekend in Warren for Wrestling Under the Stars and had a real good turnout for that. And, yes, they definitely pick and choose. It sucks. I don't know, what politics you need to know backstage to get away with the shit. But, yeah, it's clear as day that they do. So,
yeah, okay.
But happy for Riddle that, everything's kind of smoothed over. There's been so many different sides, but at the end of the day, the fact that him and his wife worked it out. And
he admitted he cheated.
You
can think about that whatever you want, but he's saying, look, this girl wanted it.
Yeah. And, and the fact that they worked their deal out and can be there and happy couple for their kids. Cool, dude. Cool.
Yep. All right. Over to you. Thanks, Colin. Over to you, Aaron.
Okay. We do have a few super chats. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. He said, if not Big E, I really want Riddle to win Money in the Bank. And if WWE really wanted NXT to be the third brand, have the Money in the Bank winner cash in for the NXT title would make it equal. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe the women's Money in the Bank winner will, but I don't see the men's winner doing it. Really, I don't see either of them doing it. And we'll talk more about possible Money in the Bank winners on Saturday. By the way, that will be 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll be doing it 1 hour before Slammiversary, so anybody who wants to watch Slammiversary won't have to pick and choose what they're going to watch. Mm-hmm. And Rob Fury sent in a $3 super chat. He says, Shane Mercer from AEW and Indies is the next Lesnar. I have not seen him. Anybody have an opinion on this guy?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him either, other than I know they got the one guy from the NFL, right, that they were saying he looks like Lesnar. I think WWE signed him. Yeah.
But let's, son, let people stop saying the next this, the next that. I want to see just new superstars. Like, you never said Shawn Michaels, was the next Hogan or Bret Hart. Let's just see who the next person is and who they're going to be, not who you want to be like.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And just to talk about the topic real quick here, I think it comes down to politics, just like in life. Politics play a role. If the company likes you, they'll tend to look the other way if things get a little dicey. And they'll keep you around. But if they're looking to get rid of you and you make one little mistake, you're done. That's the end for you. And that's just how things are. And it's not WWE. You see it in the corporate world. You see it all over the place. It just comes down to politics.
Yep.
And
who you know in politics. And yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Whose bread is buttered. Son, you want to add to this?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically how it always goes. WWE's going to see, it depends on how much value they see with you. Unfortunately with Enzo, and I know it came out that Enzo was innocent, but it sounded like from what I remember reading on NoDQ.com, it was just the fact that they had so many issues with Enzo behind the scenes that they just decided this was the last straw. Whereas someone like Mandy Vince McMahon probably has been very high on him, and I heard that they did their own internal investigation, and we saw how it ended up with Dream. So based on what they did, look at how they booked Dream versus how they've been booking Matt Riddle. Obviously, they must have found something that wasn't credible here or something like that. Whatever went into it, I haven't followed everything that's gone on behind the scenes in terms of that, but it basically just comes down to how much they value. If they value, they're going to try and work with you despite what controversies are going on, unless it's something that they absolutely, and if it's something that's going to put the company in really bad light, then that's basically what they're going to do. And then if it's someone who that they feel like they're more trouble than what they're worth paying them, then they'll probably get rid of it. So that's just the way WWE runs, unfortunately, whether it's right or wrong.
Right.
Yep. There you go. And good for Matt Riddle, and maybe he can become a dynamic character and change a lot of people's minds that don't like his current gimmick. But we will see how much Vince McMahon truly does like this man.
While we're on the subject
next year
of
or so.
Matt Riddle, I've been hearing over the reviews of what you're saying, and I totally think it's awesome that they should go that route with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. I would love it if it is Randy Orton who actually genuinely befriends him, and it's Matt Riddle that now is the younger legend killer and use this to manipulate him, and they turn him to the more serious MMA fighter. And it's because we've seen it. Randy Orton over the decades, he's constantly turned on all his partners. Do something different. It makes sense too. Randy Orton's in his early 40s, and he just went through all this hell with Alexa, and he's like, I need to calm this vicious stuff down. And Riddle has shown me a lighter side in life, but it's Matt Riddle who is the manipulator. I think that would be great.
Pass the effing torch. Well said, son.
Yes, you can have him, and you can have Riddle say that Randy Orton has gotten soft in his old age. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. It's perfect for this story too. He's at the age now where yes, you can have that younger legend killer looking to pay Randy Orton back for what he did in his younger years. It's perfect. It writes itself.
Okay, gentlemen, main event time. Ready? Bobby Lashley is the WWE Champion, but has he been sabotaged by WWE creative and management? Now, we speculated Lesnar for a long time. We are told Lesnar might not be back anytime soon, and now the rumor of Goldberg for SummerSlam is in the mix. So, Big G, the Hurt Business was rocking. They dismantled him.
Yes.
Lashley's kept the title the whole time, but he's losing matches. He lost to Xavier Woods on Raw.
Yeah.
Now, he's probably going to beat Kofi. I get it. And they'll build up a Goldberg match. We'll see. So take it away here. Bobby Lashley, he looks the part, and he should have been just a wrecking machine this whole time for whether it's Goldberg first, then Lesnar down the road.
Right.
Come on. It's 101.
So when Lashley first won the WWE Championship against The Miz, her business was still, on top of the world, and then WWE decided, you know what? The Hurt Business is getting pretty huge. Let's just break them up, and we'll just keep. And don't get me wrong, MVP has done tremendous work with Bobby Lashley over the past couple months now, and he just lost to Woods this past Monday. He even said himself he's becoming soft. He needs to be this more dominant champion. I remember when Chris Masters did the Master Lock, and nobody could break out of it. Bobby Lashley should be doing the same thing with his the Hurt Lock or whatever it's called, the Hurt Lock, and just take people out, opponent after opponent after opponent. And he's facing Kofi and Money in the Bank, and we all know that he's probably going to win unless WWE decides the fans are back. We need a feel-good moment. We're going to have Kofi get the title back, but I don't see that happening. And, do we really want Goldberg versus Lashley? Not really. But
if it's going to be Goldberg getting his ass kicked, absolutely. I'd pay to see that.
You know what? I'd pay money for that. Anytime Goldberg gets his ass kicked.
Who would have thought that's what – well –
I would pay money for that. But, Lesnar's doing his thing with the Bearded Butchers and enjoying his time off from WWE. I just hope WWE can fix this mistake with Bobby Lashley and make him a more dominant champion. And hopefully, if he does lose the title, have him lose it to Big E. Have Big E could be Big E could be the Money in the Bank winner. He can go to Raw and he could cash in on Bobby Lashley, because honestly, I don't think anybody's going to cash in on Roman Reigns anytime soon. So there you go.
Now, Colin, I'm coming over to you. I don't know what's going to happen with this MVP thing. Like, MVP's been great this whole time. He can still go in the ring when he's healthy, putting people over. If they want to put Bobby Lashley at that level of building him to Lesnar even bet more, and to me, the whole Goldberg rumor would just be just to give Goldberg another match on his contract, but ultimately he's there for the hype, for the Goldberg fans, but Lashley goes over. Who's part of American Top Team through the Bobby Lashley? Remember I was talking about Dan Lambert? If AEW has no interest with this guy beyond what that segment was last week on Dynamite, snatch him up to be a mouthpiece for Bobby Lashley to build the Lesnar one day, because Lesnar was in the UFC and wasn't part of American Top Team. It's stuff like that. Colin, what do you think? Not just on that, but the whole Bobby Lashley in general.
I've been super disappointed in his reign because of booking. He lost to the New Day kids like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. Like, when this man won the championship, so many fans. I mean, I remember Twitter was just, yeah, he did it. And now the Twitter sphere just shits on him because creative shits on him, and they broke up the damn Hurt Business way too early. Way too early. We have New Day going for how many years, and we get the Hurt Business for a couple months. And the Brood went longer than I think Nexus went longer than the Hurt Business.
Right.
And that was the best thing going, because it was, oh, Jesus Christ. Do we have any mods?
Yeah, do your thing. Oh, by the way, while you're doing that, Colin,
you.
I'm going to mention someone's like, Lesnar in UFC is not that good. Okay, regardless of his controversy of the last fight with the pet positive or whatever, he won 5 real fights and he lost 3, and he was their heavyweight champion. Okay, try to fight for real life. This was a converted professional wrestler.
Yeah, and he got a lot of people that were not UFC fans checking out the
UFC
product.
fans.
Also, Brock was a legit wrestler even before he came to UFC.
Collegiate.
He was an amateur.
Yep.
2-time NCAA champion.
Thanks for cleaning that up in the chat, but back to you, Colin.
But anyways, and I know Brock's probably not going to be showing up, so who are we going to get? Goldberg. And, I made a tweet last night watching Christian versus Matt Hardy with JR on commentary. I'm like, man, this takes me back to my youth.
Right.
Goldberg doesn't do that for me anymore, okay? Even when I saw him live here in Cleveland a couple of years ago at Raw, I was just like, well, all right, 8-year-old me would have been, rock hard. But I was just, whatever. He doesn't do it. He's booked like crap. Mr. Troll's back. God damn it. Can I finish? Can I finish, please, before you
and what
decide
it
to
is,
interrupt?
Hey, I know you're getting upset with it. There's somebody taking the time to do that. That means we are all as a group collectively over. We are over like Rover when somebody has to do that. They are addicted to our content. So thank you. Thank you for all your fake accounts and posting what you do. You are part of the NoDQ galaxy, even though you're the very bottom barnacle scum. You are still part of it. But yes, Colin, we do want you to finish. Do you want me to come back to you, or are you gonna?
No. I'm good. This
is what everybody's here for. So we can handle these situations.
I really, really feel that they have dropped the ball on him. I feel like he deserved more. And Goldberg coming back is just going to really, really, really suck, because nobody wants to see him.
Tito does.
Tito.
By the way, Aaron, Tito would like to be a mod. I think you can make that happen. We can trust him.
I mean, I think that would be a good idea. So
I vouch for that as well, because he's here and all the time. But anyways, Goldberg coming back. I'm not going to be looking forward to that, and I want to look forward to SummerSlam, because SummerSlam has been one of my favorite It's my second favorite pay-per-view of the year, always, and because it's always right around my birthday, and I've been to a couple, and good times. But anybody else but Goldberg, maybe
we'll get lucky, and this is just a troll, and the whole red herring, and it will be Lesnar. And he's going to have his buzz cut again and everything. We'll see.
I'm telling you, I'd rather see the New Day kids in a 2-on-1 handicap match against Bobby than Goldberg.
Well, they got contracted things with Goldberg. They got to get out of the way.
I know, but can't we just do it on Raw or?
Oh, we got another one. He's doing it again. Nice. He's mad. He's mad at me for calling him out. So now he's calling me a pedo. Virtue pedo. Yeah. Aaron, do the super chats before we go to, and then we'll go to Son to cover this topic.
Okay. Alberto Gomez with a $5 super chat says, I would take Cena versus Lashley despite their Great American Bash in 2007 not being the best over Bill Goldberg. What agenda do they have with Goldberg? Okay. So let's start off with Brock Lesnar.
Brock money's worth.
Brock Lesnar seems to be enjoying life outside of wrestling. He was in that Butcher video. He's got the ponytail.
Brad Taylor, dude. Brad Taylor from Home Improvement, all grown up. That's what I forgot to say because of the dickhead troll.
I know, right?
I think Lesnar's closer than everybody else thinks. That's just my gut.
I mean, I think he's going to be back. I don't think there's any question of that. Perhaps WWE had a different storyline direction. And let's face it, if Brock Lesnar's coming back, Bobby Lashley ain't winning that match. Brock Lesnar will be beating Bobby Lashley. So maybe WWE has a different plan for SummerSlam, and they're going to bring back Brock Lesnar maybe for Saudi Arabia. I could definitely see that happening. So, Brock Lesnar appears to be out of the picture. And as far as Goldberg goes, my big issue with it, bringing back Goldberg to potentially face Bobby Lashley, is that Goldberg lost to Braun Strowman. Mm-hmm. He lost to Drew McIntyre. So why is he getting another title shot? And is he going to really lose again? Now, I am seeing some comments here in the chat. Maybe Big E cashes in. It's a triple threat. We'll see what happens. I don't want to jump too far ahead because we still have Money in the Bank coming up first, and I'd rather we do our predictions for that, and then we can start talking about possible scenarios for SummerSlam. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, I'd rather have Lashley versus Ricochet at SummerSlam. Well, I'm sure you would. And Underground Knight sent in a $1 super chat. Thank you for that. No comment, though. And Dr. NXT Scorpio sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says, if only WWE built up some credible challengers for Lashley, but they won't for some reason. Got to bring back Goldberg. LOL. I mean, yeah, that you nailed it. That's the problem with WWE. They haven't built up anybody else to face Lashley, and this is what they do. I mean, we knew this was coming. We knew when WWE was going to go back to a touring schedule that they would bring back the legends. They would bring back the part-timers to get some eyeballs on the WWE product and get people watching again. So I'm not shocked about this at all. It's sad that they're not at the point where they can rely on their current guys to draw the big houses. But yeah, that's what they're doing. And I wish they would do something different with Goldberg. Like, it's boring when he comes in. They do the 3-minute match. He hits like 5 spears in a row. The other guy hits five versions of his move. It's just not fun to watch. If Goldberg came back and maybe did something a little bit different, then I would be open to that. I would be.
Maybe he has a ponytail Goldberg too.
Yeah,
tag him up with someone that can do most of the work.
Maybe Goldberg comes in with an alter ego. Maybe he comes in as the Santa character from that movie he did a decade or two ago. He could be an evil Santa. They could just change things up with him. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, better sitcom, Home Improvement, or Family Matters?
I cannot pick. They are 50-50.
I like them both. Family Matters ran for like 9 seasons.
Right.
Well, so did Home Improvement.
And the beginning of Family Matters wasn't about Urkel, but then it became about Urkel. So I can't.
Family Matters has a better song, so I'll go with that.
So you got. Did I do that versus? So it's
better be a bit. I almost wore my Binford Tool shirt tonight too. I was this close to doing it.
Carl's good and Family Matters, but Al Borland was good. It's a tie for me.
Yeah, I would say 50-50.
Yeah.
And Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat, says, WWE could have had the Hurt Business dominate Raw. The Bloodline could have dominated SmackDown and face each other at Survivor Series. WWE screwed it all up. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement.
Yes.
The first mistake that was made, WWE was doing so well with Lashley. First mistake made was breaking up the Hurt Business. I think we're all in agreement on that one. That was a bad move. And, Shelton and Cedric, they were getting TV time. They were being used, and now they're not. And it helped with the whole appeal of Bobby Lashley that he had his own group. He's that dominant of a persona that he's got his own minions behind him, and he's got his own group. So, yeah, that was a mistake. And the whole New Day thing was stupid. Like, he should have beaten both of those guys, in an instant. 1-minute matches, with all due respect to Kofi and Xavier Woods. They tried to do this storyline. The promo he cut on Raw was really good, in my opinion. However, there was no point in having Xavier Woods beat Bobby Lashley. Like, the idea was that Lashley maybe could lose to Kofi Kingston, but Kofi did beat him. So they already did that where Lashley lost the match. There was no need for him to lose again, losing to Xavier. They could have done a count out. Like, they could have had Xavier Woods beat him by count out.
You know what I want to see? I'm not going to be on the predictions. I want to see Lashley beat Kofi like Lesnar did.
That'd be nice.
All right, let's see. Let me
that. 10 seconds.
I think I'm caught up on all the super chats, but we did have one from Mr. Tito, which we'll go to as the last thing. We'll let Sun get in his.
So are you good then? Yeah, are you good with the main event? Did you get everything you wanted to say, Aaron? Okay.
I think Lashley has definitely cooled off, but I'm not surprised that Lesnar's not coming back right now, because the way Lashley has been booked. I mean, if he was going to be facing Brock Lesnar, I think they would have booked him differently. And Underground Knight sent in a $5 super chat, has a prediction here. Says Brock Lesnar returns as a surprise heel, and Paul Heyman turns against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns turns face, and they face at SummerSlam. Well, that ain't going to happen for this SummerSlam. But Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, I definitely think is a possibility down the line. But I do think that we should have Roman Reigns as a heel and Brock Lesnar as a babyface. Just my opinion. All right. So on that note, we'll throw it over to Sun.
Yep. And thank you, Colin, for doing your due diligence.
I enjoyed seeing that super chat because, man, had they kept the Hurt bit together and you had the bloodline and they really just built this up for Survivor Series, you could have made that a whole traditional Survivor Series main event right there. We still might get Bobby versus Roman, but don't know if it's going to have that same effect. As far as Xavier Woods defeating Bobby this past Monday, I was shocked. I'm like, clean, 100% clean. And I'm like, the thing is, if they're going to give Xavier Woods this mega push, then fine. But we know how the WWE operates. We knew that this was just some sort of plot device, which is what they used it for later on. And I thought Bobby cut one of the best promos of his career. But you already know he's going to beat Kofi, and then he's probably just going to beat Xavier Woods, get his win back, and then that's that. And it's like, why go there if you're not going to go all the way with it? I think Bobby Lashley should have definitely been the killer, the monster. I'm digging the new theme song that he has. MVP has been awesome in his corner, and I still cannot stand. Look at they got rid of the Hurt Business, and they're doing nothing right now with Cedric or Shelton Benjamin. There was just no reason at all. And as far as Goldberg, which is like I mentioned earlier, I just found out about 4 minutes before we went on air, and I know I joked earlier saying it's not as fun as it was fun back in the day. Listen, I did like Goldberg. I enjoy still when he comes out with the music and all that good nostalgia stuff. But once the bell rings, as Aaron mentions, it just basically becomes a signature and finishing move spam fest, and that right there is not as fun. As far as Bobby versus Goldberg, not a match that I think I ever cared about. I mean, yeah, they do the spear, but I'd rather them do maybe Roman versus Goldberg if they can't get John Cena. But they have really been, they did all this build up with Goldberg and Roman, and they have him dunking him in the storyline all year. Like, why do they not want to do Roman versus Bobby unless they're afraid that Roman, because I bet that's a way to get Roman cheered. You put him against Goldberg, everyone has total respect for Roman. He's definitely going over, and I would like to see Goldberg get destroyed by Roman, because in his entire career, I don't think we've ever seen Goldberg get squashed. You want to talk, there you go, Aaron. You talked about something new and fresh. Have we ever seen Goldberg get dominated in just 90 seconds? I don't think that's ever been done, and that's a way to put a big star like Roman over. Maybe they could do that with Bobby. That's the best route to go. We've never seen Goldberg get squashed, so yeah. But yeah, I hope WWE finally kicks things into full gear with Bobby. Just be dominant. I didn't like that he went over Drew in kind of like the typical coward heel way. Just have him be dominant, destructive, and they've spammed the match with Drew's too many times, so they've definitely dropped the ball, but there's still some room. I'm glad at least Bobby Lashley is still champion. And lastly, to finish up, I still want my match of Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Been waiting for this since I was a teenager, and there's no better time to do it than now if Brock Lesnar comes back, or whenever Brock Lesnar comes back.
Well said, son. And guess what? We got through a 5-person panel no DQ review, or did we? Because we know what time it is. We're going to go around and do our plugs, and it's going to go to Aaron last, and we will see if we can get out of here. So, gentlemen, another great show. Big G, I'll start with you. It's closing time.
NoDQ.com/BigBiology takes you to my Twitter page. You can follow me there. I'm on there every so often talking wrestling. And you can follow me at TikTok at BigBiology1988.
Nice.
And that is it.
Short and sweet. Colin the Cleaver Andrew.
All right. NoDQ.com/Colin takes you to my Twitter page. You can follow me on YouTube as well at the Cleaver Colin Andrew. I am 40 away from 1K on subscribers, so go do your due diligence, folks, and help me out on that. And to the troll in the chat room, make sure to kiss your dad in the lips before he tucks you into bed tonight, okay?
It could be Dave Meltzer, too. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, but, whatever. But, yeah, that's really all for me. I might be on Saturday's predictions. I'm not sure. If not, I will have them posted on my channel. So, and right here is my Twitter handle if you care as well. So, whatever.
Cool. Yeah, Aaron, why don't you have my Twitter handle on my name? Why does it just say Virtue? When are you going to say?
You can change your name.
You change it yourself.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to do that myself. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you for being on. Over to you, son.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me, youtube.com/SunGoshuaku, SONGOSHUAKU, as you see on the screen. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as Facebook. So there you can follow all my filmmaking work. As you can see on the screen, it's a screenshot from my upcoming short film, Battle of Deception, which is an anime-inspired live-action short film. You can also find all my filmmaking work, all my acting and videos and voice acting videos there. I also do content, of course, regarding Dragon Ball, as well as WWE, mostly the big major shows, so you definitely could see a Summerslam review coming this year. Also, I've been competing in the Now Voice This voice acting contest, have all my entries up, so if you want to be entertained as well as get hit with some hard-hitting emotional stuff that involve my acting, definitely check it out. Have a plethora of content basically based off of all that, so you can follow me on all that. I'll leave a link if I can in the comment section below, or just click on my name and you can follow that. That being said, hey, it's been a pleasure coming back on here to talk wrestling with you guys. It's been a while, always great. Please support NoDQ, and everyone out there, let's just do what we all can to help one another out, because we all see how the world has been these past couple of years. And go out there, follow your dreams, do the research, learn what you need to be passionate and be successful in whatever it is you want to do in life. So I wish nothing but the best for everybody and for all you guys here as well. Have a great one.
And thanks for being on. Okay, Aaron, over to you. I think one super chat might have snuck in.
We do have one, so we are in no DQ after dark mode. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. JML McGee said he's new to the channel. He liked the video. He is subscribed. So thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. We hope you stick around for more, and maybe we'll get some more people
Big
watching.
G, did you clap? Because I just clapped. All right, Aaron, sorry.
Oh, Kevin Evans said I liked and subscribed. So thank you, guys. We're getting some new subscribers. And Kevin Evans, we appreciate you, and J-Mail McGee. Next show, we are every Thursday night for the No DQ review. and I'm on pretty much every night that there's a wrestling show, doing recaps. Let's go ahead. We do have some super chats. This is what we call, for those of you that are new to this, this is No DQ After Dark, where people send in just random super chats, and things tend to go off the rails at this point. We're all tired, but we're going to answer these super chats here. Psycho Jet Black, and we'll go around. We'll start with me. Let's go in order. So it'll be me, Virtue, Big G, Sun, and Colin. Psycho Jet Black says your favorite Randy Savage matches and moments. Okay. I love the matches with Hogan. Of course, Ricky Steamboat is up there. The Ultimate Warrior match from WrestleMania 7, the WrestleMania 8 match with Ric Flair, and even in WCW, the matches with Flair I really enjoyed. So those would be my top ones. Not the best match of all time, but it was more about a storyline. Randy Savage and Jake Roberts, the Snake, was one of my favorite Randy Savage moments. But yeah, the whole Mega Powers storyline is awesome and definitely worth checking out from start to finish, from the time that Savage was about to be taken out by the Honky Tonk Man, Hulk Hogan made the save, all the way through WrestleMania 4. Finally, at WrestleMania 5, the blow off, the Mega Powers explode. That whole storyline, if you've never seen it before, check it out. It's very entertaining. And long-term storyline planning that you don't see these days in wrestling. So, Virtue.
Savage Steamboat, Warrior Savage, and the DDP feud, even though it was brief in WCW. The stuff with DDP. Aaron?
All right. Well, Big G.
Steamboat Savage. I mean, I did enjoy the tag team match that I watched in SummerSlam '88 with the Mega Powers and the Mega, the Mega Bucks or whatever. So yeah, I mean, WCW I really didn't watch too much, but I mean, he's had good matches, so I mean, I'm a fan of Randy Savage.
All right, Son.
So, match-wise, really enjoy that Hulk Hogan Macho Man match. A few years ago, I finally got to watch all the early WrestleManias, and that match that was probably like one of my first big matches. Like, yeah, Andre and Hogan was the legendary one that really put WWE on the map, but Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, that match I thought was absolutely awesome. And there's so many moments with Macho Man, so I'm just gonna go outside the wrestling business. Do y'all remember back in the 90s? If you grew up as a 90s kid like me, when Macho Man was on Dexter's Laboratory, I'm looking, he was the wrestler, or something like that, wrestler, or whatever. I think that's how they spelled it. But yeah, I loved him when on Dexter's Laboratory. That was a great moment. So yeah, that's basically what I got to say.
All right, and Colin, anything you would like to add?
I mean, some of my favorite moments with Randy Savage was the early days of Raw when he was on commentary. Just the way his voice and everything mixed in. The cream of the crop deal will always be money and matches. I mean, everyone said Steamboat and him, but I mean, I'm just gonna say something. I'm just gonna say something to be a smartass. Damn it, Rhino, you took it. I've been waiting for this, but yeah. When he went against Peter, when he got Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man, like.
Now,
it's just,
hold on. Going back to earlier, Spider-Man's part of the Avengers, right?
Dude, I don't know.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
So I know the Marvel Universe.
But I liked the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. All that reboot crap they did, like, not a fan. Sam Raimi made the best Spider-Man movies, in my opinion.
I want to say
this
is
Evil
how
Dead
you.
fan, so I have
Any Slim Jim commercial. Any Slim Jim commercial favorite of Macho Man.
Oh, yes.
That's how you know when you've transcended the business. The fact that for some of our favorite moments, we're bringing stuff that didn't even have to deal with Macho Man in wrestling.
For a $2 super chat or whatever that was, $3. We talked about that awfully long. Aaron, what's the next one?
Okay, Johnny Boy sent in $3, and he said, "How do you think the Uso Roman Reigns storyline will play out?" Well, I'll go first, and we can go real quick here. I think they're together now. They're a unit, and they will be this way probably until Roman goes babyface, and that might not be until, hopefully, not for a while. Maybe after WrestleMania, but I think we're going to see the bloodline together at least through WrestleMania. So, Virtue, anything you would like to
I
add?
agree. We're in this for the long haul, and it's going to go until Roman wants to do something different.
Yeah. Big G?
Yeah, pretty much what you guys said. There's nothing really else to say. So
We'll say agree. Next.
All right.
Next.
Son?
Yeah, it pretty much goes down to that whole story. If Roman is going to abuse them basically when they're not losing, it's going to eventually build to, traditional baby faces stand up to, their evil heel boss. And there you go. That's probably how this all ends.
And I agree with Rhino. I hope Naomi wins the women's title, and that's the next step. She gets with them, and, they dominate the whole company.
Yep.
Colin, anything?
I mean, it's literally going to go as long as Roman's champ, or unless Dewey Uso gets some silver bracelets and goes to jail. So, whatever
Right.
comes first.
Psycho Jet Black sent in $2, says, what is the backup plan if The Rock is the available? I think he meant if he's not available, but I'm not sure.
I'm
good
sure
question.
he will be.
I mean, if
I'm
The
sure
Rock
he
is
will be.
not available, I guess you gotta get Big E or somebody ready
Pushed
to.
I mean, that's
that
pretty
top
easy.
spot.
It's Cena or Lesnar,
Probably seen Lesnar.
Yeah.
depending
I
on if
suppose-
Cena's back in time for SummerSlam or not. If we're talking a WrestleMania and it's not built up for Rock and Roman, it's Cena or Lesnar.
Oh, we almost forgot about Mr. Tito's super chat, so I guess we can go back to that one. I think
it's still on you. I mean, it hasn't come over to me to close the show
I am
yet.
unable to scroll up to it, so I actually lost it now.
Tito,
Mr.
just retype it in the regular chat so Aaron can read it, please.
All right,
Yeah, I
Big
can't
G,
do
any
that.
thoughts on this last
I
topic?
mean, like I've said before, WWE, and we've said it before, WWE needs to create a new star, push them to, the moon, bit like
Cameron
Big E. Not Cameron Grimes. I don't think he's there quite yet. But Big E is the only top star I can think of right now, or Seth Rollins if they don't do any, if they turn Seth Rollins babyface again. But
I agree with Big G. Their mindset definitely should be what current roster talent can we build up so that WrestleMania, if these big stars can't come, we've already put months of build up into this other star.
you can't rely on part timers. What are you gonna do when they can't wrestle anymore?
right.
Let me call in John Cena. Let me get him. He's got to go
Roman,
in with the
wait till
rocker.
Roman's a part timer. That'll extend him a lot longer.
True.
True.
Yeah, I guess they could do another Roman Reigns John Cena match if they had to.
Tito typed his super chat in the chat, Aaron. You want to read
Okay,
it out?
so Tito sent in $5 earlier. Thank you, Tito. He says, where would Chyna and Sable be if Vince Russo did not leave WWE during 1999 in honor of Virtue?
That's more of a virtue question.
So if Russo stayed there and continued doing, him and Ed Ferrara continued doing what they were doing, he probably would have found a way, even through all that controversy, because he was really close with Chyna. He probably would have found a way to extend her there longer and keep her relevant, because she would have had someone there that was on her side, and I think she would have stayed. It would have worked out. Same with Sable. Sable was strongly pushed because of Vince Russo. It would have extended both of them a couple more years.
Well,
As long as
did leave-
Russo was there. I think
Sable-
eventually he would have still got burned out and left.
Sable left before Russo did. That's the thing with her, though. I'm not sure if she would have been brought back sooner, maybe. But
Yeah, that's a good
really
point.
Hard to say. It's hard to say. All right. Anybody else want to add anything to that, or are you guys ready to wrap this up?
I'm ready to wrap it up.
Okay. So thank you guys again. NoDQ.com. Live coverage this Sunday of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We got fans, and we got one more super chat here. The This Guy Experience with a $2 super chat says WWE needs to make several stars like the Attitude Era.
That's right.
Yep.
They need a revolving door of top main eventers.
And you need
Roman
large-
has the
large
weight of the world
personalities.
on his shoulder. It's not fair.
Just
Even
imagine
Hogan,
where they would
that
have been.
Savage and Warrior, you know?
Imagine where WWE would have been had they put everything into just Stone Cold Steve Austin in late '99. Thankfully, they were building up Rock and Triple H, who carried it in 2000. I wish they get back to that.
Yeah, but like we said before, Vince does not want anybody higher than him.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. That's what happened, and that he
should
realized
hang out
that
with
during John Cena's run.
All right. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat, and a timer has been put on me, but I'm going to try to wrap this up.
Yes, TikTok,
TikTok, Caitlin.
Walter Cruz with a $5 super chat says, reform Hurt Business, use New Day, say after all the matches, we respect each other now, and MVP made sense with everything he said to Kofi. Yeah, I remember that whole thing with MVP trying to get to Kofi, but I don't see anything happening with that. I don't think New Day's ever turning heel. I don't think they're ever gonna go against what they're doing now. And I think to be part of the Hurt Business, they would have to drastically change their characters. So I don't think it's gonna happen. I would like it to happen. I'm all for it, but I think it's highly unlikely in all likelihood. Now, Colin, do you think there's any chance of that happening or no?
No, I don't. Woods isn't a normal type of suit guy. I just don't see it happening. Maybe one of them, but not both of them.
Okay. We're going to go around the room here for this next one, and then we'll wrap this up. All right. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat. I got 3 minutes left, so I have to hurry here.
Wait, did he just say 3 minutes?
Psycho Jet Black says your favorite Bella Twins matches and moments. The match where Brie Bella fought Stephanie McMahon at SummerSlam. That was my favorite one. I got a clap for that one. And Nikki Bella challenging for the championship against Ronda Rousey at Evolution. There you go.
I'll co-sign that.
Oh, Caitlin just said I'll co-sign
Didn't they
on
both kiss on Daniel Bryan before or something? And Gail Kim was involved. I'm just going to say that because it was kind of like Vince Russo stuff.
And I liked Natalia's storyline with Nikki when Natalia said, "My cat has more charisma than you do." That was good. That was some good shit.
Are we good? Are we clean?
Well, Big G needs to give us his Bella Twins picks.
I'm gonna say the Raw I was there with when Jerry Springer was there, and then the 2 matches you mentioned too.
So, of course, you agree with me. All right, how about you, son? Bella Twins.
Brie and Stephanie, I thought was good. Definitely one of Stephanie's best matches she ever had in her career. And with Nikki, the match where she fought Charlotte, I believe, where Charlotte finally won the Divas title, and then obviously the match with Ronda were actually pretty good too.
Okay. Colin, anything you would like to add?
My favorite matches were their last matches, and
come on.
my favorite moments are the fact that they're not around. I could never get into the Bellas. Sorry, Caitlin.
Yep.
Sorry. Can't.
I was picking kissing segments. I wasn't even picking matches.
Colin agrees with me because I think Nikki versus Ronda, that was her last match. He agrees with both me and Aaron. That was their last match.
I don't really care. I never have.
Okay.
Somebody's had a little bit too much wine over there. Anyways, Roy with a $2 super chat says, "What was the all hands on deck meeting?" Well, it's on NoDQ.com, and you can read it over there. Basically, the employees will be getting their bonuses again after a period where they were not getting their bonuses. And, WWE's getting back into high gear with these shows, and, they're getting people back to work, and they're trying to boost up morale, and that's what's going on here. So we'll see how long it lasts. And
Ready
I think
to close?
we're done.
Caitlin, thanks for your patience. I have someone here at my condo waiting on me, so I can appreciate you waiting on Aaron. I'm going to close the show. Follow me on Twitter if you dare at NoDQ_virtue. Thanks for listening, watching. We will be back next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the NoDQ review. But for Colin, for Big G, for Son.
J. Mel McGee with a $2 super chat says, "I have a trivia question." All right, well, give us a trivia question, but it's got to be quick here. The This Guy Experience with a $2 super chat says, "What Attitude Era star would you book to win Money in the Bank?" None of them at this point, and that includes Edge. I think that new up-and-comers should be winning the Money
Jeff
in the
Hardy.
Bank.
Agreed.
Jeff Hardy. No, not even Jeff Hardy. As much as I
And
like
then he
Jeff
can hear his
Hardy-
new music or his old music.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we did not get the trivia question, so J-Mail, you're going to have to send it to us next week. You said you're subscribed. Maybe we'll do that next week. We'll do the trivia question. But thank you guys for tuning in. Virtue, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Good night. See everybody next time.
Peace.